Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, and today, 5 new decks casually, including something we never do. We're doing a hot location deck, and we're going to put that right at the front. You are looking at that hot location deck right now. Why a hot location deck right now? Well, this hot location makes it freaking impossible to regularly play Marvel Snap. It is the peak, the new peak, which discards or steals the leftmost card in your opponent's hand for both players, which means that's always going to be Agatha. So Agatha is everywhere. If you want to hit infinite and you are not facing Agatha every second or third peak game, please play this list, go hit infinite, and drop a sub because we help you out. But this list is originally from Roram, and then Ika edited it into this version. It's really, really fun. It does an amazing job at not only winning games as this hot location is featured, but also making sure you're playing a couple of Dark Avengers for the global event. It looks like we're doing really well. They tweeted that we're already over 3 million. We need to get to I want to say 15 million to get the null and the null and the X23. So let's get everyone null and X23, friends. Let's keep playing with lists like this to do so. Before we get to talking about the list, I just want to let you know we're hosting a $400 tournament starting January 27th. It is $2 to enter because all you have to do is be a $2 patron on our Patreon, and then you are entered to participate in this tournament. Cool. So hopefully that is a good enough deal for you. You'll be playing in pods of 8, and the winner of each of those pods of 8 will get pods of 30, and the winner of each of those pods will get a tournament. The winner of that tournament is competing for up to $400 in prizes. If you're interested in Marvel Snap, if you want to try your hand, if you think you're good at this game, or this game is pure luck and RNG or whatever, and you feel like taking your chances, this is the tournament for you. It is one game a week, set at your own schedules. You don't have to worry about being in a weird time zone or anything else. If you can figure out how to be a little bit flexible with it, you can manage to play your games for this tournament. Cool. I'll also be streaming tournament games live on my Twitch and recorded on my Twitch. So if you're interested in that, please let us know. Prime Mind, thank you so much for the sponsorship. All right, Roram and Ika both made this. You need Black Knight, Victoria Hand, and Kate Bishop, so hopefully you got those cards last week. I did tell everyone to go get Victoria Hand as she becomes more and more meta. If you got Victoria Hand, odds are you got Kate Bishop on your way there if you didn't get her when she was a season pass. Black Knight is a card you might or might not have. That's fair. If you don't have it, sorry. Iron Patriot can be Mirage here. Iron Patriot is good, but not required. Frigga can be Mystique, and if you do that, add another ongoing, and I'm thinking Cap, Punisher, or Speed. Speed is the best of those, but that should be fine. Reminder, the peak is steal the leftmost card from your opponent's hand, and Agatha will always be well, almost always, I guess. No, I think actually always be the leftmost card in your hand unless you get the +5 energy and player out, which means you can give your opponent Agatha, ruin their entire plan, ruin everything they're trying to do, and get free wins. I've been snapping on one with this until I started running into a million mirrors, but was playing this. Everyone at High Infinite was playing this for much of today in order to climb. So, okay, fine. But if you are not in High Infinite and you can use this to climb, go get them, Tiger. All right. So turn 1, Black Knight over Quinjet. Turn 2, Iron Patriot over Victoria Hand. Turn 3, Frigga on hand, or you can wave or sift for Agatha. Turn 4, Ghost Rider, Agatha, or generate cards. And by the way, if you're not getting rid of Agatha by turn 4, you're probably running, but that's fine. You just run for 2 at that point. It's not the end of the world. If you've given them Agatha, feel free to just stick around. Turn 5 is Hand and Frigga, and turn 6, generated cards, or Agatha, or Ghost Rider Plus. And that's it. You've won. It's a ton of power. We're going to look right after this at a budget Moonstone deck, but once more, if you are into that hot location, give this list a try. Let's get past the hot location into the subscription portion of the day. We do at least 7 days a week of Marvel Snap videos here on the channel. This week we are doing 9 videos. We did 2 videos yesterday. We'll be doing a second video today. If you want the most thorough and consistent Marvel Snap content, please hit that sub button. A like and a comment really help us out too. All you have to do is click that little red YouTube button at the bottom right of your screen and you are subscribed. And we're giving away an Iron Patriot Season Pass. All you gotta do for that Iron Patriot is hit that sub, like, and then later this video, leave a comment, and you're entered to win a free Iron Patriot. We give away 1 season pass a week, and then 5 the first week of the season. All right, next up, we have Combat's Budget Moonstone. This is from our friend Combat Snap, who you can find over on YouTube. He does have a video of this deck, and This is about as cheap as you're going to get a Moonstone deck. Not quite as cheap as you can get it, right? This one runs 3 high series cards. If you get Moonstone, you're also going to want Doom 2099 and Iron Lad. I think it's reasonably likely that you have Doom 2099, given that it was such a bought card last season, was in fact the most bought card of last season based on what we can tell. Iron Lad can be replaced. If you're missing Iron Lad, feel free to run an Absorbing Man or something else and you'll be totally fine. Don't like go out of your way, like don't go crazy in order to make sure you have Iron Lad. But this is a really cheap list that is incredibly strong. I played this in Conquest, in Gold Conquest, against a hard counter and lost barely because of locations. This list is absolutely really, really strong, and you should absolutely check it out if you're the type of person who enjoys Patriot lists at all. All right, you can find Combat at youtube.com/@CombatSnap. This deck needs, as far as needs go, we'll talk about that in a minute. If you're missing the high series stuff, you can check this Unfit Parrot deck right here. This Unfit Parrot deck is also really awesome, also really cheap. This one, in fact, doesn't run any other Series 5 cards, so feel free to check this out. Parrot also has a great YouTube video up on this deck. So if you're getting Moonstone and you're looking for some decks, this is where you want to go. We have these extremely powerful lists that you can try out that are very, very budget friendly. So turn 1, you want Ant-Man. Turn 2, Dazzle. Turn 3, Patriot over Captain America. Turn 4, Moonstone on Patriot, or you can drop Doom 2099, and that's generally better than Lad. Be careful with Lad, you are running Ultron. Turn 5, Blue Marvel or Moonstone. Turn 6, Mystique on Moonstone is also good if you played Moonstone on 4, and you can do that while dropping Dazzler or something else. Turn 6, Doom if you played 2099. Ultron if you have Patriot stuff going, or you can play Brood and Cap at this point, or Brood and Patriot, or Cap and Patriot, or some combination thereof on your Moonstone to really put a bunch of power across the board. That's it. This list puts up an absolute ton of power, and I feel like people should really be giving this a try. We're going to look at an amazing mill deck after this, and we're even going to do another Moonstone deck with a top player thoughts on Moonstone. But I really wanted to take a moment and shout out the sheer power and sheer coolness of this list. If you are looking for something cool to do with Moonstone, if you're considering getting Moonstone, but you're like, oh, but the decks seem really expensive. Well, one, a lot of Victoria Hand stuff, you don't need a lot of other high series stuff, although Frigga is a big question mark here. You should be able to figure out some really cool, powerful decks with Moonstone. The Patriot stuff, the Ravonna stuff, has thus far been underexplored because Victoria is the new hotness. All the players are building for that, but this is really strong. We've learned from Victoria Hand that giving +4 to your cards is very strong. Well, let's have some stuff we can give +4 to, right? 8 power Ultron bots win an awful lot of games. Next up, we have Hope Springs Eternal. This is a bundle in the shop. That is terrible progress value. $30, you're getting 3,500 credits, which is a bad deal. Straight up. But if you need Hope Summers, I think you should get it. I know that's not how we usually do things. This is just, Hope is so good, guys. Gals, non-binary pals, excuse me. Hope is amazing. If you want to play Moon Girl decks, you need Hope Summers. If you want to play Surfer, you need Hope Summers. If you want to play thena mid-range decks, you need Hope Summers. Hope continues to find new homes. She continues to be an extremely powerful card. If any of the Hope decks that are around seem good to you, I think you should buy this. But don't just immediately buy it. Wait till Saturday. This will still be in the shop on Saturday. Saturday morning, the podcast is going to be late this week. I'm doing a bundle review of every data mine bundle for January, February, and March that has a Series 4 or 5 card in it. So if that sounds good to you, please make sure you check back here Saturday morning, where I will go over, and then you can compare this and see if you're budgeting, whether this is what you want to spend your budget on. Crime Afoot's Malerica. This list peaked at rank 12. It is super strong. I've been playing this a lot. This is how I've been doing destroy missions. I love this list. It has so much power and so many different things it can do with it. It's got answers to tons of cards. If you're still seeing any Galacta, that Shadow King is amazing. If not, make it a rogue. Have fun. But there's just a lot of power in this list. I managed to beat several Arishems in Conquest with this list. In fact, I only lost when my mother dropped off my son's stuff and I ran downstairs, and when I went to pick it up, I locked myself out and I had to buzz the neighbor to let me back in, and I lost a Conquest that I was kicking their butt in. I was up 10-6 on stream. Oopsie. But yeah, this list is so strong. Crime Afoot is a master at this. This was brilliant. The Phoenix Force list that Jet is playing yesterday is built on this masterpiece. You can find Crime at twitch.tv/crimeafoot. It's not Crimeafoot, it's Crime Afoot. You need Lady Deathstrike, Misery, Gladiator, and Zemo for this list. Iron Patriot and Fenris can be Cable and Rogue. All right, so again, this peaked at rank 12. It's still sitting in the top 30 as Crime has started to play other lists too. Turn 1, you want Hood or Yondu. Generally speaking, if I don't know what's happening, I kind of like Yondu early. The Yondu early gives me a lot of information about what they're doing, and I think that's really, really useful. Turn 2, Iron Patriot over Fenris over 1-drop. Turn 3, Gladiator is generally your goal. You will play Zemo if you have Iron Patriot, otherwise you're trying to find something else. If you played both Hood and Yondu and they've played a one or two, a couple ones, feel free to Killmonger, but if you're playing against the Victoria hand decks, you might want to save Killmonger for the end, because killing like 7 power Kate Bishop arrows is worth waiting for. Or you can play Iron Patriot on turn 3 just fine, especially with a demon, or you can play Fenris and a demon, Fenris and a Yondu, Fenris and a Hood. Cool. Turn 4, you want Misery on Hood. The earlier turn combos are fine. Turn 5, generally speaking, you've got 4 options. I didn't write one. You can play Lady Deathstrike, really, really powerful right now. Kill that Victoria hand, and all of a sudden that problem just disappears, right? Kill that Luke Cage, and all of a sudden they are getting a million negative power. You can play Killmonger plus a 2-drop. Killmonger and Shadow King is really strong here. Or you can do Zemo in a 2-drop. That's also really strong, right? The last play that you have here is you can play a card like Yondu or Hood with Misery here. So you can just straight up cold play them. You're going to have 2 demons for the last turn of the game at that point, destroy a couple cards. At that point, you're looking for Death and Chong, Death and Killmonger, and combining these cards with as much as you can demons. Cool? That's a ton of power, and that's how you win. We're going to look at an Infinity Ticket winning Moonstar deck right after we do top player thoughts, but once again, Crime afoot has an amazing deck. If you like Mill, you should absolutely try this. It is so, so strong. All right, our top player thoughts on Moonstone. Derek, the number 1 player in July and August, said decent, nothing crazy. Safety Blade, the Marvel Snap Zone writer, who's often in the top 20, says good but narrow, needs Victoria and speed. W, one of the best deck builders in the history of the game, says good card, but in a competitive spot, will age well. Aoi, the best French player, says better outside this week with ongoing counters everywhere, but good in Spectrum and Cerebro 6. Jocko, the top-ranked Italian player, number 2 player last season, says good with hand, speed, Quinjet, but not as good as move, bounce, and hard-to-fit tech. Foot says nothing special, works, and may be great with Sam Cap. And I think that's like ultimately why I'm leaning towards at this point recommending Moonstone, just for the record, because not only is it very good now with like Patriot, with potentially Ravonna, with Victoria Hand. If you have Victoria Hand, I think it's an easy buy at this point. But also, if you're going to get the season pass next month, I think that you're going to want Moonstone in those decks pretty badly. Abra says fun card, lots of potential. Pluto says works mainly Victoria hand decks, a nice complementary piece, but skippable. Gravebeast says not top tier long term, but curious with Ravonna after the hand cycles out. And Jimmy Dickens says better than anticipated, strong with hand, and we'll find more. I asked Sizer as well, the current number 1 ranked player, number 1 ranked player last season, number 2 the season before, etc., number 1 the season before that. And he said, I'm waiting for your last chance review before I make a decision. I haven't bought it yet. So a few people were like, Ika was like, I'm going to grab this, but I haven't bothered to yet. So we got to wait for a few more people to really weigh in. We will take a look at some stats and give you a weekend mission recommendation tomorrow. Shang Enjoyer's Wiccan Moonstone is our next list. Shang Enjoyer basically built this off the Wiccan shell. We can call this the Crazy Shell. We can call this the Ika Shell. Ika started running Devil Dino before anyone. I think the deck has changed enough at this point to be like just sort of the card generation shell, right? So Shang Enjoyer is a great player who put this together and grabbed an Infinity Ticket. Why are we featuring an Infinity Ticket deck? Well, because Ladder Success today is kind of janky because we have that stupid hot location, right? So we are instead going to feature Infinity Ticket winning list that's really, really strong and very cool. A very consistently hitting Wiccan list, which I think is really cool. Because you have Quicksilver, right? Then you have 4 2s. 4 2s mean you're fairly likely to get a 2. Kate Bishop helps you hit it even when you do that. And then Mirage has the added benefit of often giving you a 1 that when you need it to play on turn 3. So that's really good. And then you still have 3 3s. So it's not like you're asked out on 3s for that Wiccan thing either. And then when you hit that Wiccan, woo boy, so much power. So you can find Shang Enjoyer at Twitter, at twitter.com/ShangEnjoyer. This needs Wiccan, Moonstone, Hand, and Cape. Frigga can be Mystique. It's not nearly as good, but it's doable. Iron Patriot can be Maria Hill. Not nearly as good, but it's doable. And Rocket and Groot can be Juggernaut or Negasonic Teenage Warhead. This list wants to run Quicksilver on 1, Kate if you don't have a 3 on 2, Victoria if Frigga, Iron Patriot if you just need something to play, and Mirage is fine. I've been saying this, Mirage is really good in an Iron Patriot meta because if they get a cheap card and you get that cheap card plus 2 power by playing your Mirage at the right time, it's really great. So hold that. Turn 3, you want Frigga. Generally speaking, if Victoria, you can play a 2+1 if you've got that Kate thing going. You can just play Rocket and Groot if you have Iron Patriot and Prio, and Coulson if all else fails. Turn 4 is Wiccan over Moonstone. Nice and simple. And you'll, if not, play 3 stuff. Turn 5, Dino and a 2 or Moonstone and a 3. Perfectly fine. You can also, if necessary, go whatchamacallit and Frigga now. You can go Victoria and Frigga now, totally fine. Or you can go an Iron Patriot card and Frigga now and get an extra discounted card. Turn 6 is Gore or Dino and generated cards, and then you win. Cool. Next up, Space returns. But first, one last look at this. This list just is like everything here sings. Everything goes together beautifully. Just stellar list. Props to Sean and Joy for coming up with this great one. Hey, I'm going to be streaming tonight at 8:30 on Twitch. We will be streaming our podcast live. We will have 2 of the smartest people in Marvel Snap join myself and other host tonight, Gunny T, to talk about the patch and the OTA and all things that are coming. But we also have a second video later. So if you want my OTA thoughts after that video goes live, you want to like talk, ask questions, so on, check out twitch.tv/PulseGlazer. We usually stream on YouTube too, but Thursday is the Twitch exclusive night. There's also Twitch drop, so come get your drops. And I wrote screen. The season pass question is, have you caught a stream? Have you watched one of my streams yet? If not, what's holding you back? If so, what'd you think of it? Cool. Yeah, next. All right. Next, Make Space. Space is a player who builds with a lot of top players, generally builds cool stuff, and he builds me a lot of cool Anti-Venom Frigga stuff when new stuff comes out, and he built this Anti-Venom Frigga list with Iron Patriot that's working really, really well. So I wanted to give a chance to share it, especially because we've been doing a lot of Victoria Hand type stuff lately, a lot of Moonstone type stuff. Well, this is a different list that you can play, and no, you don't need Frigga. This deck needs Ravonna, Anti-Venom, and Gore. If you don't have Sage, you can run Cassandra Nova. Hopefully you got it in Deadpool's Diner, so it was free. Iron Patriot and Kate Bishop can be Mirage and Cable. Hydra Bob can be Maria Hill. And Frigga can be Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Oopsie, wrong way. So turn 1, you want Bob. Turn 2, Ravonna over Iron Patriot over Kate. Turn 3, Juggernaut if Iron Patriot, Luke if you just have to play a card. Turn 4, Anti-Venom is generally even better than Iron Man or a 3. The reason you want to play Anti-Venom is because you can Frigga that Anti-Venom card. If you Anti-Venom Iron Man or Gore, you've won the game. Just you can snap and be perfectly happy. You want to play Iron Patriot, Sage, or the Anti-Venom card with Frigga. That's why Ravonna is here largely. Or you can play Iron Man or Gore. And then you want to end the game with Mystique and Juggernaut or Sage. Cool. Or just Juggernaut and Sage. Sometimes you want to play Gore, but usually you want to play that other stuff unless the board's gotten really full. And that's how you win. This list puts out an insane amount of power. You just get cheap, powerful cards, and it works super effectively. Remember, Kate Bishop is not relevant here. It's not like necessary here, nor is Frigga, although Frigga is excellent here. Frigga has become really, really a meta card at this point. Thank you so much. If you'd like to see gameplay from all these decks outside of my streams, please check out the stream team. Today is Thursday, so the King of Canada will be streaming at 12 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to catch a nice day stream, go check out the King of Canada. While GamingwithFlashX will have a video up of yesterday's decks later on today or tomorrow. Questions of the day. We don't... Oh, damn it. I didn't change this. I say every day I'm going to change this, and I haven't changed it. All right. Mandatory Burnout asked my favorite Bob Dylan songs because I was listening to Bob Dylan on stream, and I just saw the movie, which was very good. He's an asshole, which is unsurprising, but it was a very, very good movie. My favorite Bob Dylan songs are Subterranean Homesick Blues, Don't Think Twice, It's All Right, Mr. Tambourine Man, Tangled Up in Blue, Girl from North Country, Mama, You've Been on My Mind. Those are my favorite songs off the top of my head. I genuinely just went, okay, what songs do I really like, and wrote them down. There's probably a bunch more, but those are the ones that came to mind. Jedi Cowboy asked where the name Pulse Glazer came from. There's a website called Inside Pulse that I was a writer for and a main editor for. Almost everyone had a Pulse, whatever their name was. Some people use real names, some people use fake names. A Pulse, whatever their name was, as an email address. I was Pulse Glazer. Glazer is my real life last name. So, whenever I just needed to make a new screen name or whatever, rather than try and come up with something clever, I just went Pulse Glazer because my real name is a name that enough other people have that it doesn't come up. I don't want to do the initial thing. I don't want to do a silly screen name. I'm an adult. So Pulse Glazer works good enough for me, and it's consistent. Cool. All right. We're going to give thanks to a bunch of patrons, and then we're out of here. Thank you to Abigail, Kisum, Manager, Burnout, Irregardless, David G. Wingfield, Dirty Casual, Danton, LAB, FaThorNewman, Inc., I'm Frostman, Jane Everett, Yellow Potato, Thinking Poker, Prime Brian. Thank you for sponsoring everything Prime Brian. Prime Brian is sponsoring Snap, Judge Lee, Ryan Burke, Ryan Wood, Characters Lee, Quarry, Kazushi, Archangel 3K, Powerful, The Goat Seeker, Hollowed, Synth, Quid Pro Joe, Snap Citizen Joe, Fat Nick, Mr. Kerfuffle, Cables, Ginger Prime, Philip Record, Chaplo, Kenner, Props of the Business, Black Juice, Exorcist, KBG, Jessica Gamble, Tommy Nicholas, King Bros, Gear Kazoo, Wearable, Silver Ludicrous, John Corbin, John Q, Jim McHugh, Clamp, Colonel Foreman, Stout, 8 Sage, Bottles, Monster Breed, Green Goblin, Unibat, Flun, 56, Steven, Brian Coffin, Tristan H. Martin, Jason B, Only Fox, The Fuzzy Note, Spectrum X, Woot, Matt H, DJ Bike Hajix, NoFlex, Ocularis, Chris Stray, BG, Zotrix, King Canada, Demi Falcon, Spike Jones, Two Ties, The Grand Lords, Parking Tucker, Sorry, this is the third video I did today, and I streamed for like 4 hours, so I think I need to rest now. Have a great night, everybody. Hit that sub by pressing the middle. Check out some other great videos. Don't forget, there will be a second video today. Don't miss it. We got to cover that OTA. Peace.